All right, got back from Float Labs. Doing a quick recap right now. It was awesome. Definitely feel refreshed. Definitely saw things in there. It was really cool. Gonna uh, have upload the longer video up onto YouTube. Probably post a link. Definitely worth going. So now the long version. Got in. It was pretty awesome. It was pitch black. And as soon as you get in, it felt like Jello. It's like when you pushed against the water, it would like push back a bit stronger than normal water. So it felt like you were stepping in Jello or something like that. It was really salty. I didn't taste it or get it in my eyes. It was really easy not to get it into your eyes or anywhere you don't want it to get, but you could definitely smell the saltiness. The tank itself was completely pitch black. You don't see anything. When I first got in, as soon as I laid down, closed the door, it's like really easy to float. You can get used to it really quickly. As soon as I did it, as soon as I laid back, it felt like I felt like I almost did like a backflip or something. Like I was sort of losing orientation because it was pitch black. There's nowhere to like focus. So as soon as I laid back and like got comfortable, it felt like I was doing I was like rotating in space, backwards. Um, Not that I know what rotating in space would feel like, but you know. And then at first I had my eyes closed. I was just trying to get used to floating. I was like concentrating on breathing and just staying still. Um, Definitely, like you could hear yourself breathe. Like it's with the earplugs they give you. It's actually really loud when you breathe. So I basically like took some deep breaths. It was good. Like when you breathe, like you would sort of float higher, and then when you breathe out, you float back down. It was actually pretty interesting. So I was resting in the water with my like arms to my side, and it felt like heavy. It felt like almost uncomfortable with my hands to my side, like next to my waist. So I moved it to like the guy said you could have it. Lots of people either do it like next to their side or above their head. So I moved my hands or my arms above my head, like yay, like this, both of them, and it felt definitely more comfortable, and felt more natural. And then at first I was like trying to think, and with my eyes closed. At first it wasn't awesome or anything. It was just like I was just there in pitch black thinking, my eyes closed, and I didn't feel like it was that great. But then as soon as I opened my eyes, it was like a completely different experience. Like you try to at first you try to adjust your eyes to focus on something and you just can't. It's completely pitch black. It's not like in a dark room where eventually your eyes will focus and get used to it because there's no light in there for you to for your eyes to gather. So it's like you're just staring into nothingness. And eventually after a while, like you start seeing things like for me, what I mainly saw was like almost like smoke. It was like white or gray, like smoke, like tendrils. Just like at the edges of my vision, or sometimes it would like cover it. It would just at first it was just that, and then slowly it started to like form things. Like the first thing I saw was basically like a tunnel. Like it was like flashing like it was like alternating like gray and black or white and black, and it was like I was like backing out from a tunnel. It was like just sucking into like a point, and it was just alternating black and white, and then slowly like that formed into shapes. I don't know if I formed it myself or it just formed. It started forming to in like an outline of a person, and it was like repeatedly. It was like pretty much the same. It was the same shape, same person, and it was and it had the person had long hair, so I figured it was a female, um, and it was like basically all you saw was like the outline and then the hair, um, and then it would just like it'll be big in front and then it'll like fade out like into that point again. And it would do that for a little bit, and then and then eventually like I saw like outline of like a face, like a really specific outline and like eyes, sort of like Disclosure, their album art, where they have like the white on someone's face and like it outlines their eyes. It was just sort of like that, but it was like the full head instead of just like part of it, and then it was both eyes, and then you can make out some of the features, but it was just like white outlines. Um, and then like before, it would just like sort of form quickly and then disappear. And then the next thing I saw was like flares. It was like points. It would points in the distance. So instead of it like fading to nothing to a point, it would fade into like a bright light. At first, it was like a circle. At other times, it looked like a cell or like a nerve cell. And then other times, it would like form into like a squiggly line or like cursive writing. It would just be bright for a second, and then it would just like do it like repeat again. Mike said he had sort of the same thing, but like he was actually able to control his little flare and like move it around and write things. I didn't really try to control it. I just let it be, and just let it do whatever. Um, let's see, and then it was the temperature of the water was a little bit cooler than I would have liked. I was hoping it'd be closer to my body temperature. Mike said it was a little too warm for him. Mine was, I feel, a little too cool for me, so maybe we would have switched tanks. It would have been perfect. But you could definitely feel like you're floating in water. It doesn't feel like you're floating in nothing. So you could definitely feel like the water around you. But it was still comfortable. Like as long as you laid still, like your body temperature sort of warms up the water around, or at least mine warmed up the the water around me. So eventually you feel like there's nothing, because eventually like the heat sort of dissipates and warms up the water around you if you don't move. But if you like slosh the water, you know, you feel the cold water again and you sort of notice it. Um, let's see. And then it was when I was just laying there, like I'm pretty sure I lost like 15 minutes there somewhere where I just don't remember what happened. I think I either got lost in my mind or I was in thought, and then all of a sudden it was just blank. It was like I was out for like maybe I don't think I was sleeping. It was just I don't even remember it. It was just like I was maybe just in my head. Um, and then the things you do feel in there is like you feel the water. Since I had my arms above me, I could feel my pulse, like the pulse on my um, on my wrist, like would pulse out, and maybe it'll create like a ripple in the water, and then you could feel it. It's crazy how the tiny things you would feel when like you take away like your filter for like everything else around you, when there's nothing else for your mind to focus on, if you focus on the tiniest things. um, and other times you don't feel anything. um, but definitely just overall it was a really great experience. Definitely would go back and try it again and do it some more. It's um, yeah, it's great. Like I felt relaxed. My mind afterwards felt sharp. Um, but your body just felt heavy because you were floating for like an hour. So like as soon as I got up, it was just like my arms were heavy and then my body was heavy. Just like all of a sudden you have weight again. Um, but then in there you were just weightless almost. You're just floating there like nothing. Um, but yeah, definitely great experience. Float Labs. It's in Venice Beach in LA. Definitely recommend it. It's um, hopefully next time I get to go a bit deeper. Maybe think more. Maybe control the flares or whatever. I don't know, but it was definitely a great experience. Yeah.